Yeah. Oh yeah, we back with another episode on the Twisted T2, baby, where we do things a little different around here. And well, we're gonna bring these Reddits to you. Am I the A? I know at times I can be, right? But this ain't my day. This is theirs. So let's just call it throwaway beta. Uh-oh, this might get good. Wants to know if they are the ass for not taking their ex back after she left him for an alpha man. Okay, so before we get into this, well, if she left you and you wasn't hitting her or treating her shitty and she didn't really have a reason to leave, she just tells you she was bored, then you shouldn't take her back before we even get into this. But let's see what happened. Let's dive. Oh yeah. So my ex, a 30-year-old female, wants to get back with me, a 29-year-old male, after she left me about a year and a half ago. Now, I have been with my ex for 7 years, married for 5. So after 2 years, we got married, okay? It felt like love at first sight, and everything felt so natural when we met. After about 2 years of dating, we decided to tie the knot. Not soon after, well, we welcomed our baby boy. He's 4. He was a pandemic baby, so my wife ended up quitting her job while I continued to work as a line cook and started doing Uber Eats on the side. Okay. After things went back to normal, my wife told me she doesn't want to be one of those women who lose their passion after settling down. So she went back to finish law school and take her bar exam. Of course, I wholeheartedly supported her and we tried to make it work. After she passed, she immediately got hired at a firm downtown through the help of her friend, Dumbo. That person is a 33-year-old female. This is where the problem started. Why am I not surprised? She was in the house and now she's out. From the get, my wife began to make good money. Good enough that she told me to quit my job and take care of our son full time, as she won't have the time. I said, no, I love my job. Cooking was my passion. And I even worked my way up to a full-fledged chef. My biggest regret in our marriage had to have been her talking. My biggest regret in our marriage had to have been her talking me into leaving. But I did, and I became a stay-at-home dad. Slowly, our marriage began to deteriorate. Yes. As she started to pull away, she worked long hours and barely spent any time with us. She would go out drinking to network with her work colleagues on the weekends, sometimes even going out of town. At home, she'd always be pissy with me. It's like her personality did a 180 completely. This wasn't the sweet, nurturing girl I fell in love with all of those years. Our intimacy became, non-existent. After going through therapy, at least you guys did that, I can see now that I am to blame as well. Well, listen, if a relationship goes to shit, both people are to blame, okay? I should have communicated better and shared how I felt. Luckily, the highlight through this was my son. Seeing him grow and being there for a lot of his first made everything feel like it'll be okay. Yeah, which is good because the love that you had for him, that means a lot. One day, she finally came up to me and asked for a divorce. Even though you were going through it, she the one asking. I wasn't surprised. I felt everything was eventually going to lead up to this, but I still don't want to give up. I asked if she was sure about this or if she wanted to make it work. I recommended couples counseling or temporary separation. She declined both. Yep, that's right. She declined both the offers and told me she found someone else. Yeah, I'm not really surprised about that part. Hearing this shattered me. Her changing and us growing apart, I can understand. But never once would I have thought that she would have been the type to even entertain another man. Yeah, she told me it's some partner at her firm. When did my life become a Korean rom-com? Shit, no. She told me that he invited her out a couple times and showed her the life of luxury she deserves. Yeah, without your kid though, right? So let's just continue. We argued for a bit and she told me that he is twice the man as me. She called me feminine for being a stay-at-home dad while his wife works hard and being home and bringing home the money. What? Is what I said. It was your idea. And what about me working 2 jobs during the pandemic? To her, those weren't real jobs. I was a delivery driver and a cook. Wow. That's messy, okay? Because your wife downplayed the stuff that you did while you were taking care of them. And now that she's bringing home the bag after suggesting that you not work, even though it's so sad. Because this happens more often than not, where we go out of our way to do what we need to do for our significant other, and it's far from appreciated. All right? Far from appreciated. Clearly, this lady, she didn't appreciate what you did. She told me this new guy is an alpha male who knows a woman's needs and how to take care of her. Yeah, until he gets what he wants out of you, and best believe he's done. That alpha male, he roll into the next one. She bragged about how tall and muscular he is, how he has a real job, and took her on weekend getaways. Oh, so now it's all starting to make sense. You see those weekend work trips where she left you and the child? Because she was being a selfish piece of shit, she decided to go fuck around. That's right, okay? And you're sitting here questioning, are you the asshole because you're not taking this bitch back? Man, please. And took her on weekend getaways that she told me were work related. And here's the kicker. He's such a man, he doesn't want to make things official until me and her separate. I almost laughed at how delusional my ex had became. You know, shit. I asked her, what about our son? And she said, I can have him. He likes me better anyways. I think this hurt me the most. I couldn't believe she said that about her own son, throwing him away like he was some object. For the first time, I couldn't recognize the person in front of me. I won't lie. I did let the anger get the best of me and some hurtful things, and said some hurtful things back. I could tell she was taken back by this, probably because I almost never get angry. She turned around and left. Of course she did. But she was going to get comforted by this alpha male and forget about the life that she created. After she left, I cried my eyes out for 2 weeks, hoping she'd call and come back. Bro, I'm sorry. I don't know. I didn't love her anymore, but life without her felt so scary. The only thing that kept me going was my son. I knew I couldn't turn to the bottle or go down a dark path because of him. I managed to beg for my job back, and they rehired me for some weekend nights only, which was better than nothing. That's messed up, because you don't work your way up, bro. I spent the next months just putting my head down and working in silence. The divorce proceedings were moving quickly, and before I knew it, it was official. The worst part about this was I felt like I had no support system. On social media, everyone was praising her for being a strong, independent woman who broke free from some shackles, metaphorically. Like I was some villain holding her back. Yeah, you shouldn't have even been on her pages. You know she's pitching a different fucking story to her shitbag for friends. Any real friend would have told your wife your ex-wife, that she was being a piece of shit. Any real friend would have been like, yo, look what you're doing to your family, shitbag. I'm just saying, that would have been a real friend. And not a single person messaged me on how am I doing. And thank God they did, because this might have made me want to try therapy. And I haven't looked back since. For all of those that are unsure about therapy, I'm telling you, it works. Now, fast forward this week, I receive a phone call from an unknown number, and when I pick it up, it's my ex on the other line. balling. She told me how her alpha male boyfriend found someone else, and she's too afraid to confront him because he's a partner at her firm. She finally explained her perspective and, well, how everything led up to this point. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how it led up to this point. Only thing that matters is when you were looking for that person to be there, she wasn't. That's what matters. Don't forget that. Basically, my ex has admittedly always been really pretty and a social butterfly. After she had our son and the pandemic hit, she felt ugly and insecure. I don't want to hear none of this shit. I don't want to hear it. Those are excuses. All right, you don't give out your vagina because you felt insecure and ugly. So the person at the firm is the one making you feel better. When you got somebody who was taking care of you, providing for you when you didn't have it and couldn't do it, and was straight up telling you to go back to school because they were there for you. So we don't want to hear the excuse of how you felt insecure. Fucking asshole. Even if I told her she was pretty, I'm sure you did. So I guess when she got her job, she got the validation she wanted. Yeah, of course she did. Of course, feeding into these delusions was Dumbo, who recently had divorced her husband. You see, and poisoned my ex with thoughts on how I'm a failure as a man. Yo, see, she didn't have a good friend. She had a shitty friend, all right, who just wanted another single person to hang out with. Shitbags. Who recently was divorced. How my ex is way prettier than me, and she deserves someone of her standards. Apparently, I'm a beta male who rolls over and is stopping her from being free. She said a lot more specific stuff too that I think I'll just keep to myself here. We appreciate that. But it was definitely an eye-opening conversation. I shouldn't have pushed my ex away to be vulnerable enough to listen to Dumbo. But still, after hearing all this, I was really just disappointed more than anything. That she would be stupid enough to even throw everything away on some whim and pure pleasure. That's right. For a temporary feeling. My ex asked me if we can try again. She told me how much she misses me and how she took me and all I did for granted. Yeah, of course you felt that way after you figured out that the new person could give two shits and you asked him to make you something. He's like, nah, B, I'm an alpha. Get your ass in that kitchen and cook. And you was like, oh, do you wash dishes? He goes, nah, I don't do that either. Get yourself in the kitchen and cook. Well, what do you do? I just work the firm. Yeah, and tell you what to do. And that's when your ex figured that like this wasn't it. Oh, you couldn't talk to him because he don't listen? That's right. She told me how much she misses me. And how she took me and all I did, well, for granted. For example, I always made her lunch in the morning. Made sure she's up to date with her pills and, well, so on. She misses those little things. I admit to tell her that I missed her too. I admit to telling her that I missed her too. And I know our son does for sure. But she did make every decision herself. And what if things worked out with the other guy? I'm not some prize that she could just come running back to. She cried and told me that she wanted me back a week after she left but was too prideful to call. I firmly told her no and hung up. Since then, my phone's been blowing up from friends and family that I'm heartless. Yo, where were they when you was in the middle of the divorce? Where were they throughout the other time periods? Man, fuck they feelings. That my wife was vulnerable and taken advantage of. Instead of picking up the pieces and helping her, I'm leaving her to fend for herself. Apparently that message hurt the most. So, now here's the thing. I think you said it already. She made her choice, right? You didn't choose to have her out there. She chose that shit. So she's hurting herself. She didn't care about your feelings or even your child's feelings. Whether or not she wanted to come back a week after leaving. If she truly cared, she would have figured it out. She didn't care. And like you said, what if things worked out with the other person? The only reason why she's hating you now is because she's noticing that the other person isn't you, and the things that you did for her won't be done by other people. I respect her father a lot, so, well, I heard him out. He wants me to come over for a resolution/intervention this week and bring my son. They just want a conversation to hear both sides and see if it is really resolvable. I'm attending, but I'm going to stay firm with my answer. But all of the recent messages have been making me think and to kind of rethink my stance. I just want to make sure I'm not in the wrong before I attend. So I might ask, and sorry for the long rant. Listen, all right, you far from in the wrong. If things have gone the way that you say they've gone, you're far from in the wrong. The person who is in the wrong is your asshole for a ex-wife who only thought about herself in this situation. You know who else is an asshole? Her friends, who want to hit you now instead of when you truly needed it. But that's life. It's unfortunate, and it's true that, well, most people are going to take the sides of the person doing wrong because they can't actually see what's truly going on, and you only hear one side. So I guess it's a good thing that the father is over here. Her father, unfortunately, is the one trying to do all this and see if things are going to be able to work themselves out. But when you got divorced, that said it all. All right? You going on and trying to make things better, and sitting around sulking, and, you know, her talking about your jobs like she ain't respect you. And she allowed other people to get in her head. That says it all. Let's go get into some of these comments. So, first person said, not the A, and don't waste your time discussing stupid resolutions with her dad. She's a cheater who betrayed your family. You deserve better than that. She's just mad now because she's seeing the consequences of her actions. She turned her life into trash. She's the only one that can clean it up. Apocalyptic Joe, you make a valid point. And several other people feel the same way. Bowen said, I'd advise you to attend. It will simply be a whole raft of people leaning on you, none of whom have your best interests at heart. All of whom have decided to getting her what she wants. Every single person there will make you feel like shit unless you cater to your ex. If you are sure, then there's no reason to attend. The reality is, there is no excuse for what she did. No excuse whatsoever. If she had a shred of decency, she would have never entertained it for a second. She does not have a shred of decency. Her life is about having what she wants, whatever the cost is to someone else. Exactly. And don't bring your son to listen to his parents. Don't bring your son to listen to the parents to try to argue. That will be incredibly traumatic for that little guy. Keep your no and move on. Listen, okay? Not only is she a traitor who betrayed her family, she completely abandoned her child. She doesn't get to waltz back in, pick up where she left off, when she's caused untold damage for a child by abandoning him. You know, you're absolutely right. And she also did it in a really hard time because she might not know this, but years 4 and years 5 of the child's life, well, are really big in developmental stages. And if you as a parent exit around those times, it could damage that child forever because they then could have and suffer from abandonment issues. Thanks, Mom. All right. So I'm going to get into one more who they are also a lawyer, and they also said that their husband is a stay-at-home dad and who personally struggled during the pandemic. I didn't cheat. I didn't give up. I'm not going to say your ex-wife didn't suffer. I don't know her. But that doesn't excuse her actions. She made choices over and over and over again to hurt you and your son. And from personal experience, she didn't have to do it. I recommend you keeping your boundaries that you've set and keeping it moving. She's awful. She abandoned her son. To me, unforgivable. Listen, like What's your name, homie? You are throwaway beta. Alright, throwaway. Like we told you earlier, you far from the asshole. You ain't the ass. But your ex-wife is. Now, as you can see, as we've read through these comments, most of these people feel the same. Tell your ex to F off. And, well, go find her another alpha male. With that being said, here we go. With that being said, we do got one comment that stated that this didn't pass the smell test and feels very fake. Listen. The next one. I can't believe I had to scroll down this far to get it. All I know is that your wife chose to pull some bullshit. Now she's your ex. That's exactly where she should continue to stay. Don't waste your time going back and putting yourself and your child in the pain, because truth of the matter is, you'll probably never forgive her. You might, forget pieces. You won't forget it, and you won't forgive her. So it doesn't make sense for you to go try again, because the resentment from the beginning of it will always be there. And the fact of the matter is, she left you once. We're not giving them a second chance to fuck us over. So I need you to remember, like I tell everybody every day, don't forget that not everybody's out there for your best interest. That included your ex-wife. So keep it there. You keep that head on a swivel, pay attention, and remember, enjoy the day. Take care of that little one and have some fun. With that being said, peace out.